Acid rain was one of the biggest environmental issues of the 70s and 80s. It was a significant international issue. At the time, Sudbury's landscape resembled the surface of the moon, from the toxic sulfur and metals from nickel mines and smelting in the area. Acid rain created by the emissions from the superstack, the largest single-point source of sulfur dioxide in the world, damaged lakes hundreds of kilometers away. Dr. John Gunn, professor at Laurentian University, a fish biologist and Canada Research Chair in stressed aquatic ecosystems, played a pivotal role in the research that helped solve the acid rain problem.
Sudbury was the most famous damage zone in Canada. We had the big, deep, acid-damaged lakes that had lost tens of thousands of fish each. We had in our hands information on the largest acid-damaged lakes in North America. It was an impactful document. What was the original state that we began with in 1980? The damage was severe, and many people felt a bit hopeless. Lodges were closing, economic impacts were real. It was dead clear that the acid from the smokestack was causing the damage. We were sitting on the biggest damage zone in Canada, and our little team, we were responsible to fix it.
We didn't just have data on the change in the fish community, we had data on how the changes in these other communities occurred, along with the changes in chemistry. When we put that all together, it was a pretty nice story. Stop emissions, acidity declines, you're able to reestablish fish communities in lakes, and we did it not just with one organism, but with communities in those lakes.
That initial research led to an understanding of the necessity to reduce the emissions that were causing this problem.
When the US Congress passed the Clean Air Act, Sudbury was the backstory. Without the Sudbury data, and we had made enough emission reductions, enough changes, that we could see the positive responses. One of the great personal victories, and everybody that worked in Sudbury is responsible for that. Without the Sudbury data, we didn't have a convincing case. That's the way we all viewed it, that we were fighting for North America's air.
The Vale Living with Lakes Center on the Laurentian University campus was the dream of researcher Dr. John Gunn, representing decades of world-class research. In 2011, it was purpose-built to support the work of the Cooperative Freshwater Ecology Unit, the research group that monitors the health of northern lakes and wetlands in collaboration with industry and government partners.
John's vision of how to collaborate and cooperate and build together with university faculty and university programs and research students is what this building represents.
The Cooperative Freshwater Ecology Unit is a more than 30-year-old research partnership that includes government, and it includes industry, and it includes academia, Laurentian University. There's Ministry of Natural Resources research partners, Ministry of Environment research partners, and together this group of researchers has been monitoring the recovery of lakes in Sudbury over the last 30+ years.
It was the Vale Living with Lakes Center that was really purpose-built to be able to tackle the research activities of the Cooperative Freshwater Ecology Unit.
The Lake Center is truly the pinnacle of acid rain research.
John has had so much to do with the recovery of the fish.
Such a lasting legacy, particularly on lake trout science. He's really pushed that field forward.
I think to be an effective scientist, one always has to be questioning the data, the next result, the next outcome, what remains to be answered. And John certainly, and through his Canada Research Chair, was always looking at the horizon.
Being awarded the Canada Research Chair in Stressed Aquatic Ecosystems really empowered me to work on larger issues and to have responsibility with other sectors like mining.
And I think that that's really when his research really was able to take off at that point.
An astronomical amount of peer-reviewed scientific literature has come out of this group.
We're talking about papers here that are published in some of the top scientific journals in the world.
You know, I just don't know that we would have learned all as much about recovery ecology or pure ecology without the work that was done here.
Let's do it, guys. Let's get this fish.
So I looked at all of the things he had done in his career, just kind of thought, wow, I get to work with this guy.
I kind of think of him as my academic father. He really honestly cares about his students.
Our graduates are now in very impactful jobs around the world, and I think that is one of the great things we produce, is confident, powerful, smart graduates that dare to do stuff.
You know, this building and the family that he built here is so much a part of him every day working to bring all of that together and keep everybody working, collaborating, well-funded, all in the name of science and doing good research together.
And that's what this center is. He has us all in one boat, paddling together, and he's banging the drum.
I want to make sure his vision goes forward. Now I think we need to think about how we can take care of the environment going forward with the new threats and the new stressors.
I feel like we're ready to take on a new era of environmental science in aquatic systems.
The idea of hope and recovery of a landscape is really important as a motivator to keep people pushing forward.
Hope is really critical for us to tackle some of these major environmental problems.
Hope is absolutely essential or you don't get up in the morning. And these exciting breakthroughs we make here reinforce that. I cling to the hope I see around us in the work we do.